We are in an important, symbolic place, not only for Lubelszczyzna, not only for Wytyczna, but for this place where 86 years ago, on October 1st, a dramatic clash took place between the Border Guard Corps and the Soviet invader. It is in this place, on the graves of our soldiers, that we remember this tragic time. A tragic time that was a consequence, among others, of the Soviet Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact from August 1939. A pact that, a few dozen days later, led to such events as here in Wytyczna and many other places on the eastern border of the Republic of Poland. We were attacked by Hitler's Germans and by Bolshevik Russia. Poland did not stand a chance in this clash. The victims, the heroes of that tragic, sad time, lie in the graves along the entire border. And one thing they would want today, with all certainty, is for us, contemporary Polish citizens, to learn a lesson, a wise lesson, from the tragedy of 1939. Of course, we are here today, on their graves, to honor their heroism. We are here today so that everywhere in Poland, on this day, September 17th, when the Russian troops of the Soviet Union left the East, so that we remember both the victims and the heroism, but also the causes of this tragedy. The fight, the sacrifice, the heroism of our soldiers was not enough. They were lonely. Poland stood alone on the stage, where this tragedy of Europe of the 20th century played out, and was going to play out for another 6 years. The Polish army did not stand a chance in the clash with the German and Russian invaders. So if today we put flowers and wreaths together, if today we remember those historical dates and historical places, if today we bow low to the soldiers of the Border Protection Corps, as here in Wytyczny, and to all the soldiers of the Republic of Poland who gave their lives in the September campaign, or ended up in captivity, or later died at the hands of the Germans or Russians, yes, we bow low to them. But the greatest tribute, and I am deeply convinced of this, the wisest tribute, the one they deserved, the tribute that makes sense in some way, the deep meaning of their sacrifice. This is a safe Poland today, a wise Poland, a Poland that will not make mistakes from those times, mistakes that led to the tragedy of 1939, to the occupation of our territories by Hitler's Germans and Soviet Russia. Everything is different. Yesterday I witnessed another exercise, another day of iron defense maneuvers. Everything is different today. Poland has a real alliance. And this is the first lesson that flows from September 1939, and this is a lesson that we did well as a nation, that we did well as a state. Poland is not lonely today. Poland is not an object of attack of two enemies from two sides. Poland today is firmly settled in the Western Alliance. In the last days and weeks, not only in Oris, in Ustka, not only at the border with Belarus, Russia, but also in many other places, Polish soldiers, together with American, Dutch, Swedish, Canadian, Norwegian, Lithuanian, Latvian, German soldiers, exercise together, showing not only solidarity towards Poland and Poles in these quite dramatic days, but also showing that this alliance is real and that, like for years, Today and tomorrow, no one should dare to attack any of the states of the alliance, including our homeland. These exercises and the last years of the policy of the Polish state show that Poland is not only not lonely, but that Poland is also better prepared for independent effort, for military effort. In a moment, the Polish army will be the largest NATO army on the continent. In a moment, the Polish army will be one of the best equipped. Yesterday, we exercised together with the Americans this integrated model of fighting management on the modern battlefield. This is absolutely crucial. Today, this system is operated by Americans and Poles. This shows how important the Polish fire is in the North Atlantic Alliance. And how advanced are the technologies, all the elements of armament, but also the tactics in our army. That's why it was so important for me today to be accompanied by, when we were assembling the wreath, to be accompanied by the commanders of the Border Guard and the Territorial Defense Forces. The heirs of those heroes. But I am deeply convinced of this. Also those who will not allow the repetition of this story. So, first of all, we are not alone. Secondly, we have a strong state with a strong economy, thanks to which we were able to equip our army, one of the largest in the North Atlantic Pact, with the best possible equipment, the most modern armament. And this clearly distinguishes us from that dramatic time. What do we need today as much as a solid alliance and a modern army? We need the unity of the nation. I think today there is no more important task for all of us. This task is to maintain full unity, especially in the face of threats, and they are an obvious fact. It was not far from these dramatic events related to this drone aggression of our eastern aggressive neighbor. A few days ago, I was talking to our pilots, and they said, "We feel strong today because we feel the support of the Polish state, because we feel the trust of Poles in pilots, officers, soldiers, generals." This is an absolutely key task to maintain this spirit of unity, this foundation of our independence. We cannot be divided, and we can clearly see that this attack of drones on Poland, it was primarily aimed at disorganization and chaos, also in our minds and hearts. If these demons from the past come back, if Poles start to quarrel, support these most important issues, and our security is the most important issue, then the Kremlin and Russia will be able to triumph, just like 86 years ago. So we must have lasting alliances, a strong army, and we must maintain and strengthen national unity, unity of all institutions around our defense effort and around our army. Let's say it very clearly today. Those who are lying there in these graves also want to hear these words. The Polish army is an army endowed with incredible trust. It was today that this data was published, which I think explains everything. The army is happy with the trust of 94% of Poles. It does not surprise me. However, I would also like Polish soldiers, Polish officers, Polish pilots, Polish border guards to also have full trust in the state, in state policy. This trust must go both ways. And then we will be safer. Poland will be undefeated when it is united. And when, above all, our army, our soldiers, will know that in every situation both the nation and the state stand behind them. I also want to say this very clearly. Not by chance, a year ago, I addressed the same as Prime Minister for accepting changes in Polish law. Changes that led to the introduction of regulations that sound unambiguous and that say one thing. A border guard official, a soldier, a policeman. When someone attacks our border, when someone violates our borders, when someone attacks our territory, when someone with a weapon in hand or on a plane threatens the lives of our citizens or the properties of our citizens, he must count on the fact that the Polish army will open fire. And a Polish soldier in such a situation knows, also thanks to these new regulations, that he has full support of the state here. A Polish soldier cannot, when he is supposed to shoot a drone or take action on the Polish border, we are close to the border, which is under pressure, just like in Podlasie, also of illegal migration. A Polish soldier or a border guard official cannot even think for a second whether he will be threatened. If he opens fire on the aggressor, it is here, in this place. And having in mind those historical, tragic events, we have to say it again very loudly and clearly. The Polish army is here to defend us, and we all are here to stand up for the Polish army in an undisputed way. There is no gray area here. There is no place for thinking. Just like a Polish soldier, a Polish pilot, or a border guard. He cannot speculate, think, intervene, or shoot a drone, or open fire on the aggressor. No, it has to be so natural, so automatic. And it will be so if the soldiers will be fully aware that everyone, regardless of political colors, we are with them and behind them. No matter if you are a president, an opposition politician, a prosecutor, a journalist, a minister, it really doesn't matter what function you perform and what are your views in this particular matter. It is the duty of everyone, without exception. It is also in the situation in which Poland and the whole of Europe are today. It is to give protection and full guarantees of safety, of performing this difficult mission, this difficult service to Polish soldiers. And I can once again declare it here with full certainty. Whether someone likes it or not, we will be with you. We will be with Polish soldiers, also when you will make the most dramatic, the most difficult decisions. You can count on the Polish state. I deeply believe that from such a place, when such an appeal flows from such a place and such a day, it may also sober up all those who, either succumbing to Russian disinformation, or succumbing to emotions, or looking for political interest, would like to wedge between the army and society. We cannot allow this. It would be an unforgivable mistake if today we saw the Russians triumphing at the Kremlin because they succeeded in the operation. Not like in 1929, but they succeeded in the operation of dividing Poles, dividing the nation. There is no way. I think that this great solemn obligation I can make today on behalf of all Poles. You will never be alone. You will never be, I look here at General Colonel, you will never be disappointed in the Polish state. Remember, you are our greatest treasure today. And that's why I'm convinced, I hope, that these words will reach the minds and hearts of everyone, without exception. This is what our fatherland needs. Thank you.